Hi everyone, please check the pinned comment and let's go through my brand new preferred Elliott Wave scenario on Bitcoin, where I'm looking for a three-wave structure in a WXY or an ABC. If we then zoom in to the corrective structure inside this wave X or wave B, we are looking for a three-wave move where this is the first one, followed by a second one, wave X or B, for then eventually a move to the upside, which then finishes the green wave X or the wave B for then continuation to the downside. Now, if we then zoom into the price action that we had over the past couple of days, we basically have a three-wave move to start with in an A or W, followed by a WXY scenario, which I'll show in a second on a lower time frame, and then expecting a move to the downside. Now, the high might already be in, or price could maybe push once more to the upside and then go down. I will show you this on the lower time frame scenario that I have in a second. The target box that I have at the lows over here for then the bounce of this blue wave X or wave B for then more upside is sitting currently between 27.6k and 27.2k, and it includes a weekly level, a triple bottom for maybe a bit of a liquidity grab, the 886 that is pulled from this low to this high, and we also have the 1-to-1 trend-based fib extension taken from this high to the low over here to the high that we have made at the moment on the lower time frames. This range over here is the whole reason that this scenario now exists. And it has to do with the corrective structure that this range is showing. So if I quickly go to the 1 hour time frame and show you this range to the upside, I'm thinking about this being a WXY. So a WXYXZ, sorry. So a WXYXZ, which might already be in. The high of this wave Z might already be in, or we might have another push to the upside, which I'll explain in a second, because I have to go to the 5 and the 15 minute to show what's going on over here. But what I want to explain to you is that this being a WXYXZ, which has quite a high probability at the moment, is a corrective structure. And it is a structure that is not allowed in a wave Y. It is only allowed in a wave B or a wave X. However, with the previous scenario that we had in mind, we were thinking about this to be, again, a three-wave structure, yes. However, we were thinking of a WX already being made and then this being a Y to the upside. The problem is that if this is a WXYXZ, which is a ranging structure to the upside, as you can clearly see, a WXYXZ is not allowed in a wave Y. So therefore, one has to think, hey, if this is a WXYXZ, which has to be a wave B or a wave X structure, how can we change this whole count to make this a wave B or a wave X? And that is exactly what I have done with this count over here, because now this WXYXZ structure is part of a wave B or a wave X, in this then being the first corrective structure in an A or W. Then we have the WXYXZ structure being part of a wave B or a wave X, where the high might already be in, which I'll show you in a second, or another move up. And then we expect a continuation to the downside to hit this target box over here. Now, if we quickly look at the lower time frames and see, hey, might this high already be in? Well, possibly, but actually maybe a move to the upside is preferred, because if we look at a WXYXZ, we have basically a triple zigzag type of move, and then this being a W, then we have an X, then we have a Y, corrective X, and the low of wave X could be over here, or it could be the low over here. Now, I prefer personally to have the low of wave X over here, where this then, if the low of this wave X is moving to the right side, then this move to the upside is an impulsive structure, followed by a corrective expanding flat ABC, where the target area for wave C, in this being an ABC, is the white box that you see over here between the 1.618s that you see on the chart, which is between 29.25k and 29k. So this is an important area. Now, if price is going to continue to the downside without taking the high first, then this scenario, basically this corrective scenario, is invalidated, and there's a much higher probability we are going to find more downside to come. However, as it stands now, price is finding a bit of support in this area, and if this is a first five-wave structure to the upside, you expect this to be an A, followed by a wave B, and then a continue to the upside for a wave C. And then if we look to the upside in this wave Z, we do have a couple of highs that might be taken. We have a high over here. We have the high at 31k over here as well. So if price is going to find another move to the upside, it might take the liquidity above these highs and maybe even touch the target box over here. Who knows, might be a little bit high because the most common target area for a wave Z is between the 1 and the 1.236. But as you can see, the 1.236 is actually above the high of 31k and the high over here at about 29.9k. So yeah, could be interesting for a move up once more and a move down. However, we have a very clear invalidation. If price is going to move below the wave X over here, then that basically means, in my opinion, that this wave X moves to the left. This wave Z is already in. It already hit the target, the 1-to-1, so it might already be in. And then we have more downside to come. So this explained, and also the reason why this cannot be part of the old scenario, which is a wave Y. Let's have a look at more targets and stuff of my preferred scenario. So let's move out again to the 4-hour, zoom out again to the 4-hour chart and have a look, right? So I explained to you, we're looking for a three-wave structure where the target to the downside is this white box over here. Now that could then be, of course, a potential long scenario where the potential short scenario can be over here, either already in the short or more safer, seeing some bearish divergences on the very low time frames where price is moving to the downside now, maybe a bit of a retracement, bearish divergences, entry, move to the downside. Where over here at the lows, we then have, of course, a potential long setup where one has to take into account potential leeway as well because of the wave B or wave X. I'll explain this in a second, for then a trade to the upside. And then once price is moving to the upside, we again have a potential short scenario. Now you can see that this target box over here is very big. The target box for this wave X or wave B is currently between 30k and 32.4k, which is basically the 2022 range highs. And for the ones that love more detail, the reason that this target box is so high has to do with the fact that we don't really know yet if it is a WXY or an ABC. And if it is an ABC, is it a zigzag or is it a flat? So let's go in more detail, because this can be a 5-wave move, which is then followed by a 3-wave structure, after which eventually we have another 5-wave move. It's a zigzag. So an ABC can be a zigzag structure in a 5-3-5, but an ABC is also the letters that we use in a flat, which is an ABC, where wave B is often taking the high of wave A. So what is important is this a 3-wave structure or is it a 5-wave structure? Now it's quite difficult to count this move to the downside very clearly, either or, like in a 3-wave or a 5-wave. So that is why we have to take into account a little bit of leeway with the target boxes, because if this is a 5-wave move to the downside, then wave B is not allowed to take the high at 31k, which is the origin of wave A. So then we're expecting a wave A followed by a 3-wave B for then a reversal C to the downside, which is an impulse. But if this is a 3-wave structure, it opens up more possibilities in then a flat scenario, which is a 3-wave A followed by a 3-wave B, where the target area for an expanded flat wave B is the 2022 range highs at 32.4k, for then an impulse down for wave C. So then we have an A, B, and then eventually a wave C to the downside, an expanding flat. But we also have a WXY, that if this is a 3-wave structure, it doesn't necessarily have to be an ABC expanding flat. It can also be a WXY, which is a more ranging horizontal structure instead of then going all the way up to 32.4k. So then we have a 3-wave move in a wave W, followed by a 3-wave structure in then a wave X, which yes, it could take the high of 31k, and then eventually move down in a wave Y, where this wave Y then is a 3-wave structure. So in this being a zigzag ABC, this last wave C in green is an impulsive structure to the downside. If this is an ABC expanding flat, it is also an impulsive structure to the downside. But if it is a WXY, then this last move is a 3-wave structure. So basically, because we have to keep this type of stuff in mind, this target box over here is quite big, because we have to wait and see how price is going to react at this lower box. If it is going to get here, of course, we don't yet know for sure, because no one can predict price. But we have to wait and see what price is going to do if it is reaching this area. And then based on the move to the upside, we can have an idea of, hey, the target area is probably going to be between the 31k high and the triple top that we have at the moment, or if it is going to be very impulsive, we might have to look at the higher target at about 32.4k. So that is the reason why this target box is so big, and yeah, we have to wait and see how prices are going to approach that area, right? And if we look to the downside to finish it off, we are looking at the potential targets for a wave C or a wave Y. We of course don't yet know if we get an impulsive C or a 3-wave Y. That is yet to be seen, and by that time, if potentially wave X or B is in, then we can have a more accurate estimation of where the lows might be made. However, I do want to show you two very important target boxes that I have to the downside, which could be potential targets for wave C or wave Y. The first one is the yellow one between 24,850 and 24.3k, and the second is the blue one between 22.6k and 21.8k. These are two very important support areas for Bitcoin, and we have to wait and see then, of course, how price is going to develop in this very complex range that we have. So I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the macro and the high time frame video if you're interested. And for now, I really like to thank you for watching and subscribing, and I will see you at the next one. Bye bye.